Hello Chelsea fans, it's Up Chelsea TV. Now, what went wrong with Chelsea in yesterday's game at Stamford Bridge versus Crystal Palace? Now, a number of things that I think went wrong in my opinion. I wonder what your thoughts are on those points, and what other things do you think went wrong on the pitch? Players, Maresca, let me know in the comment section. And if you're new to this channel, please hit the subscribe button, notification bell as well, and let's go straight into it now. Now, for me, overall, the team looked tired. Off the back of Club World Cup exertions, won it thankfully, then went straight into, I think it was just a week or so, and 3 weeks thereabout, and went straight into pre-season. Won those games, played very well, and then I'm sure as Chelsea fans were expecting that Chelsea, would take that form, take that bounce into the start of the season. But the team looked tired overall. The team looked very, very tired. And now, speaking of the team looking tired, we have to go to one player that sort of epitomized the tired look of the team, and that's Jamie Bino Gittins. Now, I've seen some talk all around social media. I've seen some talk everywhere, in lots of places where people are going like either hypercritical, overly harsh on him, and some are going like, don't criticize the player. Why would you criticize him? It's just one game. Now, for me, I think people use this word criticism a bit too loosely for me. Now, it doesn't necessarily imply negative. Now, someone's criticism about a player, about a managed style of play, can be negative, can point out negative aspects. It can be positive, but I think overall, being critical means you're highlighting what a player has done wrong and what you feel he can do better. Now, for Jamie Bino Gittins, apart from the fact that he looked tired, and this is what I said in the game versus Bayer Leverkusen and AC Milan, that he looked tired, started like a house on fire, 5-10 minutes, 15 minutes, and then his gas is empty. Probably still working on his cardio, his fitness, first game of the season. But there's one thing that I noticed that is even more worrying for me, is that he seems to lack bravery at this point in time, and he needs to be brave. There's one thing I would say for Jamie Bino Gittins, is the day Jamie Bino Gittins is 1v1 a right back, a left back, a full back, he is going to rip that full back to shreds. Get this right. And the day that Chelsea plays in a high line, plays against a team that sets up in a high line, and it comes 1v1 versus a fullback, he will rip that fullback to shreds. I will give that to him, because he does have the skill, he does have the ability on the ball, he has the pace, of course, but he seems to lack bravery. What do I mean by this? In the AC Milan game, right? He had the ball, went past Yunus Musa like he wasn't there, got fouled, free kick led to a goal. Then Ruben Loftus-Cheek, former Chelsea Academy player, plays for AC Milan at the moment, sort of noticed that it was going to be a long day for his now teammate Yunus Musa. So he moved closer to Yunus Musa to give him some sort of backup. And the moment he did that, Jamie Bino Gittins, for whatever reason, refused to go on the inside or cutting on his right foot. He kept going on the outside. And then he did that again today, because he was doubled up on. He was always going on the outside. And now I'll say this for not in his defense, but I was kind of in his defense, and I'll say this about other wingers as well. Overall, this would be something that would run across this video, and that is Enzo Maresca needs to help his team out more. He needs to help his wingers more specifically his wingers. If you're playing with inverted wingers, the main philosophy or the main idea behind playing behind inverted wingers, where you having your right-footed winger on the left, your left-footed winger on the right, is that the fullback provides that width. The fullback runs on the outside, overlaps, and then the inverted winger goes on the inside to shoot with his favored foot or to make in-swinging crosses. Now, Enzo Maresca has says he likes to invite his wingers. He likes to, his fullbacks. He likes them in midfield, whatever the reasons are. I've kept saying this. I don't see that absolute, undeniable, benefit you get from constantly inverting your wingers. For me, I like wingers to be more dynamic. Overlap, underlap, be more dynamic in that sense. But the one issue I've had with Maresca, I had it last season, and I don't have that issue with him. Hopefully we don't have that issue with Enzo Maresca this season. It's the stubbornness, right? You're playing against a team that said, okay, we're going to let you have the ball. We're not playing high line. We don't want to dominate the ball. You are the better team than us. At least that's what Glasner and Crystal Palace said via how they set themselves up. We're not going to come out and press you high up in your own half. No. Once you get the ball, if your back is to us, we're going to press you. But most part of the game, we'll let you have the ball, and we'll pack that midfield. So your inverted fullbacks being in midfield really wouldn't have an impact. And then your wingers will always double up on them. So when you don't have your fullbacks overlapping, that's you just playing right into the hands of a team like Crystal Palace. And let's know the psychology of the game. Crystal Palace will be happy with the win, obviously. Everything would be. But they are perfectly contented and satisfied with a 0-0 draw. Because when you watch the interviews, when you watch the post-match, analysis, you would hear, oh, Crystal Palace did well, they got a point. Oh, Chelsea did poorly, they got a point as well. So, and then for the ambitions of Crystal Palace this season, with due respect to them, I don't think they're looking at winning the title. If they get that opportunity, I'm sure they'll grab it. But that is not on their bucket list right now, that we are looking to win the title this season. So maybe finish in a Conference League spot, or finish in a position where they're able to, maybe win the FA Cup again and go to the Europa League this time around. Maybe that's their ambition this season. So that's the psychology of the game. They're not coming to Stamford Bridge to get all 3 points. This is the first game. So when you don't allow your fullbacks to be dynamic, you don't allow them to overlap, then the likes of Bino Gittins will struggle. The likes of Pedro Neto will struggle. Now, moving on to Pedro Neto. He isn't an inverted right winger. I know that's what it is right now. That everyone, or inverted winger, everyone wants to play on the opposite side of the pitch. He just isn't. He just isn't. He's an orthodox winger. Left-footed, be on the left, bomb down with pace, pull the ball into the box. Maresca tried to switch it up when it was already too late. Again, psychology of the game. As at that point, Crystal Palace had what they wanted. No, at least had what they were satisfied with, which was the point. So it was now defend deep, be tough to break down, and that's it. Now, talking about bravery, there was one player that was brave, Estavayo Willian. For me, he was a spark of life. He was a spark of life in that game. He showed, he ran, he looked tiny. He's 18, but if someone was to tell you he's 16, you probably wouldn't argue. He looks tiny. I know you see some 18-year-olds, they have their man body, they're big, robust, 6'2", already built fully, but he's not. But he just has heart and he's brave. Runs at fullbacks, runs at centre backs. He was doubled up on. He still tries to make something happen. But then again, I must say what I said about Enzo Maresca. You can't expect Estavayo Willian to constantly be doubled up on every play, every possession, and expect him to shine. No top player that you rate right now, like top winger you rate right now, has to face that every game, every play in the game. And then go on to talk about Enzo Fernandez. For me, Enzo Fernandez was another player that typified the tiredness. He was super, super tired. He didn't look like he could do anything on the pitch. And on a different note, I think for me, he's better served as a deep line playmaker as opposed to this box-to-box thing, this 8 thing that everyone is trying to say yes. But that's a different matter. He just looks tired and out of sorts today. And then Palmer, Again, Enzo Maresca, Palmer does need that help. He needs that tactical help from the bench. Palmer, like I said, has matured. He's grown. He wants to pop the ball about. But when you don't give him options, when your fullbacks are behind him in midfield, tucked in midfield, who is he going to give the ball to? But if you give him options, wingers making the runs, fullbacks making the runs, he has options to pop the ball. So he needs help, in my opinion. And then, do you know what's not the issue of everything I've said? A lot of things are wrong with Chelsea against Crystal Palace, but one thing that wasn't the issue. One person that wasn't the issue. That was Levi Colwill. Levi Colwill was not the issue. His absence was not the issue. Suddenly, everyone wants to drink the Kool-Aid. I know we want to have him in the team. I'd rather have him in the team than not have him in the team. But to go on like, oh, his absence was why Chelsea couldn't build up from the back. Chelsea couldn't create from the back. It's just disingenuous for one. Lazy. It's the laziest analysis I've ever heard. You know, you're right to have an opinion about it, but to say is because he wasn't on the pitch, that's why Chelsea struggled to play. For me, that's a non-starter. There are other things that are clearly obvious on the pitch that went wrong. It wasn't Cole's absence. It just wasn't, in my opinion. I'd like to know your opinions about all this in the comment section. I know this is a longish video, but it just had to be this way. Please pardon me, forgive me for this one. And then, of course, stubbornness of Maresca, because at no point did he want to change the style of play. At no point did he say, okay, fullbacks now, come on, go on the outside. Even when he was bringing Malo Gusto on, now in my mind I was saying, okay, probably he sees Malo Gusto as the guy that overlaps, and Rich James as more of the complete fullback, if you will, that can overlap but can do that inverting role better. So he has him inverted in that midfield, and now he's bringing on Gusto. Yeah, Gusto now to overlap. No, Gusto came in and still tucked in midfield, stayed beside Kaiser, beside Andre Santos and the other midfielders. I'm like, what is going on here? Width is so important in football. People don't understand this. So that's stubbornness for me. Watching your team drop points, because I just hope he wasn't trying to prove a Colwill point. And if he was, I think unfortunately lots of fans are buying into it. Colwill. Oh, because Colwill is gone, that's why. Come off it, man. Didn't Chelsea win games before Colwill started playing for Chelsea? You know, haven't Chelsea won games when Colwill was absent? Come on now. And one last question I want to ask in all of this, because you notice in his pre-match press conference when he was asked about Colwill's issue, he mentioned a lot of names. He talked about Achimpong, talked about Chaloba, talked about Tosin, but of course he didn't talk about Vega, because we know Vega should be on his way out. But why didn't he mention this one player, Aaron Anselmino, a highly rated centre-back signed from Boca Juniors? This is meant to be his opportunity. That's what I keep saying. Some young players, how do they get the opportunity? Is when the player is injured, suspended, and they come in. And I think gradually Enzo Maresca is intentionally or unintentionally creating another Renato Vega situation. That's what he's trying to do right now, because you're overlooking the player, not even counting him, you're not even looking at him. I don't quite remember if he was even on the bench, for the Crystal Palace game, but obviously didn't come on. You don't mention him as an option. So I don't quite get it. And what is going to happen is he's going to continue leaving the boy out, and then the play, of course, he will want to play football just like every other player. He will request a loan. Then fans will fall out with the player and say, oh, this player is bad, he doesn't love the club, he doesn't want to play. How about you hold your manager accountable for having him tied to the bench, for having him excluded from things? That doesn't make sense to me. So let me know your opinions on the various reasons, the various things I've said that in my opinion went wrong with that game. Once again, apologies for this video. It's very, very, very long. Let me know your opinions on this on the issues I've raised. If you disagree, agree, let me know in the comment section, and I'll see you on yet another video. Stay well, stay blessed. Bye bye.